What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Romstar here. We're talking about episode 66 of Dragon Ball Super fast intro, but oh my god, it was so freaking dope. First of all, can we talk about the fact that, my hair's messed up. Can we talk about the fact that that episode was literally animated by the gods? Like, it's funny, like Super has always been criticized for not being as animated too well. The first start of the series was really bumpy. We'll never forget episode 5. We'll never forget, you know, the Resurrection F arc. But once like the real Super started after episode 28, the Champa arc, and now with the Future Trunks arc, it's been A1. But that episode literally was a gift from the gods.
Actually, you're giving gods too much credit. It was mortals, and we're amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because that actually really fits to what's been going on. So let's go ahead and just kind of go into this really fan servicey episode, but it was pulled off really well. Like, I love the fan service.
You thought it was fan servicey?
Yeah, because I figured when they busted out Vegito, they were gonna make it sound like Vegito was gonna be the one that beats.
Yes.
That's why I was like, okay, Vegito's gonna be the one. And then I was like, oh, well, still badass, but yeah. I'm glad it ended the way it ended.
There was actually a lot of fan service in there now that you mentioned.
Yeah, but in a good way.
In a really good way and a new way.
Yes. So let's go ahead and kind of review everything that happened. So we kick it off by where last week it ended, which was Goku was blasting a Kamehameha at the Zamasu ball of energy of death or whatever, and Goku being Goku, he blasts that back, and he doesn't just blast it back, but it goes through his and destroys Zamasu's body. Now the big question that we all had was, is this new version of Zamasu immortal? And the answer is, sort of. In fact, half his body is immortal, which is funny because like he's been so anti-mortals for a long time, and now he finally fused with immortal, and that was ultimately his downfall in the situation. Well, with that blast that Goku went all in on with the Kaioken Kamehameha, by the way, he busts out the Kaioken Blue once again, which completely destroys his body for a couple seconds. He when he blasted him with that attack, it destroyed like the right half of his body, which basically was black, and you know it wasn't over there. I mean, again, he's still immortal. But that's when they would decide, you know what? We need a little bit more power. Fusion. And not only did we get Fusion back with Vegito, we also got an age-old question answered. I was so hyped that the second I got that, I texted Geek and was like, bruh, like, we got the age-old question answered. Apparently, the reason why Vegito defused in Z was because if you're not a Supreme Kai, or if you're not a Kaioshin, you actually have an hour in the fused state. But in a situation of
so
this,
simple.
Yeah, because remember for the longest, we're trying to figure out what was it. You know, there was this long rumor back in the Z days that the reason why they defused was because the innards of Super Buu or something like that, which made no sense. Then there was a bunch of other theories that went around, and none of it really made any sense. But I'm so glad to answer that question. Apparently, it's just because they're not a Kaioshin. And if you're not a Kaioshin, you're limited to an hour. And if you guys remember, what was I about to say? Doesn't matter what I was about to say. I completely tuned out. But they were limited to an hour. However, in this fight, they ended up being limited to far less because of how powerful they were. This reminds me of like when Gotenks go Super Saiyan 3, instead of being able to stay transformed for the full, time that you can be fused with the fusion dance, it's a lot shorter. In this situation, again, because they went Vegito Blue, which was so awesome, by the way, they ended up being able to be fused for literally like minutes.
Yeah, it was no time at all. They didn't get much time because they're so powerful.
Yeah.
Like this.
The one thing that bothered me about that is technically, theoretically, Vegito should have been so powerful that Zamasu should not have had a chance at all. I mean, granted, I know he has still Goku's body inside him and he's immortal, so he basically has like unlimited potential to just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. On top of that, he has that immortal body. He was still pushing Vegito Blue back quite a bit, and that's the one thing that bothered me. It's like, if you guys remember, I don't know if you remember because it was such a long time ago, but when Vegito came out against Super Buu, it was like completely one-sided. On top of that, he didn't even go all out. Like when Vegito fought off Super Buu, it was like playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse. You're level 80 and you find level 1. That's how that was. So Vegito's an ultimate powerhouse fusion, and here is Zamasu somehow being able to keep up with him. Now again, I will, give the benefit of the doubt. The reason why he can do that is just due to the fact that his body, again, has Goku's body inside him. On top of that, the immortality. It's a great mix. But somehow, he still was able to hold it back. Now, here's the part that completely threw me off. They defused. And not only did it defuse, but Trunks jumped in with a magical... First of all, I forgot to say this. We finally got the chance to see the sword versus sword action. Right before Zamasu was about to deliver a fatal blow to Vegito, which obviously wasn't going to be fatal, he busted out his sword back too. So it's like, hey, I can do that too. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody wanted that to happen. Like, even before, we knew the fusion was going to come back, the one thing we all thought was, it'd be badass if Goku and Vegeta fuse and they have the whole sword fight between Vegito and Black. But in this situation, it's obviously Zamasu. And I love the fact that they showed that off as well. Like that's what I said. Like this is a little bit fan servicey, but it was done in a good way, in the right way.
We got 2 swords in this episode.
Yeah, well 3.
3.
The third one is the Trunks one. So Trunks gets his sword back, which is broken, and he somehow learns the ability to.
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, okay.
Yeah, we both said okay at the same time, because like.
No, I said it first.
Yeah, well, it was a 2-second difference. I literally said okay after that too, but it's kind of like automatic. Yeah. Somehow he was able to basically turn his sword into a lightsaber and channel his ki into it and create a blade. Now, Keyblades have always been, not like a Keyblade like in Kingdom Hearts, but Keyblades using your ki, your energy, have always been a thing in not just Dragon Ball, but pretty much any anime that has some form of energy. I mean, you saw it in Yu Hakusho with the Spirit Sword, you saw it in insert anime here, I can't think of anyone.
It's really an extension of your own
Yeah,
self.
But seeing Trunks do it into the sword was just kind of weird, but it worked. And this is the part where it got kind of funky. Now, for the longest, I've always said, you know, I want Trunks to be the hero of this arc. He has to be. Like, he went through all this crap. Like, he needs to be the hero. Like, I'm tired of the Goku show. I'm tired of the Vegito show. Like, make this something on Trunks' side. And what happens? Vegito defuses and pretty much gets defeated. And here comes Trunks with his energy sword and makes his spirit bomb. Now, I was kind of confused about that. And this is why I said it's a little bit fan servicey in this episode. Because, like, in this entire arc, we've been seeing Trunks bust out every single form of attack that have existed from other characters. We've seen him do the Gallic Gun, he's done the Masenko. Literally, he has turned into, like, he has channeled his love for his friends and family that he grew up around, or I guess didn't grow up around. And he is like the ultimate fan service machine in a good way. And now, he also busts out the Spirit Bomb. So, with all the living beings left in the world, he somehow was able to kind of create the Spirit Bomb that he absorbed into himself. And he freaking did it and sliced Zamasu in half. And of course, in the process of doing that, he destroyed the mortal side of him. Now the question is what happens next? We'll get to that in a couple seconds, because you want to talk about the god stuff, right?
Yes. I wanted to talk about Zamasu's form of justice.
Form of justice, yeah, that
his
one.
His form of justice. What was I going to say about that?
I
can't quite remember.
He has like a right idea, but
he has a hateful side of him. Like, he believes his justice is right, which we all do. Like, we all have our form of what is right and wrong.
It's funny because we got Light Yagami literally right there.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. We all have our form of, like, what is right and wrong. But he has, like, this hateful revenge.
He's full of himself.
Which is not sustainable. Like, I don't care who you are, what you think is right, what you think is wrong. If you have hate in your heart, it will consume you.
And that's exactly what happens.
And it will never win in the end.
And that's exactly what starts happening.
And Trunks is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
He represents everyone on the planet. He stands up for mortals. He stands up for their will to live. And that's what he says. He was like, you know what?
This is not my weakness. This is not weakness at all. This is my strength.
No, he says this is my weakness, but he's not ashamed of his weakness.
Yeah, well,
he uses his weakness as a strength.
And with that, he delivers a slicing blow, which seems to be the end of the fight. Now, again, I'm kind of confused here because, again, the other half of Zamasu technically is still alive and immortal. He's just, I don't know if he's going to, like, squiggle around, basically, like, wiggle, like, hey, I can still fight you. Like, I don't know if he's going, I don't even know what that was. But for the most part, the fight's done. I mean, the next week's episode is called Farewell Trunks, which is funny because that title leaked this past week, and everybody was like, oh my god, Trunks is going to die. Like, what's going to happen?
I thought that when I read it, I was like, does that mean he's dying?
No, because it's a New Hope, and like, the next episode for you was pretty happy. I mean, the one thing that we have to address the elephant in the room, or the Omni King in the room, is the fact that the Omni King shows up next week. And again, this is the one thing that I was hoping would not happen. Like, they did everything right so far. They somehow allowed Trunks to trans. By the way, we need that attack in DLC in Xenoverse 2. We need that Spirit Bomb, sword attack, whatever. Just, yo, Dimps, do this right. Do this right. But we need to address the elephant in the room. Obviously, Zamasu still is immortal and alive somehow. And the fight's not really done yet, but it's almost done. And the fact that Omni King shows up kind of is like, oh, well, I guess.
We don't know for sure what happens, though.
Not yet. I mean, to be fair, one of the producers for Dragon Ball Super did say that, like, the question was posed out is like, can how strong is I forgot what the exact question was, but essentially the question was, how strong is Zamasu? And their response was Zamasu is basically a cheat code. So no matter how strong you are, even when we saw Vegito couldn't technically kill him, the only reason why he had a downfall is because, you know, he had the mortal side of him, which is kind of funny. Like, the mortals. Literally, mortals all around him were the reason for his downfall.
Actually, his downside, in my opinion, was his hatred.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, like, he hated mortals so much that the mortal part inside his body, when he fused with Black, was his big weakness. On top of that, it was a mortal that defeated him. And he's still taking a cheat code because he's still taking invincible. So now, like it's kind of weird that the Omni King is supposed to step in. I feel like he's gonna be the reason why the immortal side gets deleted or whatever, or like, you know. But at the same time, it's like you gotta fight Chico with Chico because like the dude is literally he's a living game shark.
And because when you go against nature, nature will fight back.
Yeah.
And that is what Omni King is. He
is the
force
balance
of nature. He's the one who created everything. He can do anything, and he will ultimately restore balance. So if you offset balance that much, you're gonna pay for it. I don't care who you are.
Yep. So we're gonna hear from you guys down below. Well, if that's what it is happening. I mean, I don't know what happened. I'm just kind of speculating based off the next episode preview and the title. Let us know your thoughts. And number one, everything that went down, how awesome this episode was. Two, what you think is going to happen next week. And three, how you feel about if it is the Omni King that puts the immortal side of Zamasu basically into death mode or whatever he does to him. Just
I wouldn't mind it that much because
honestly,
we got to see Trunks do his thing.
Yeah, like,
and even if he doesn't die and Omni King steps in, we still got to see kind of the defeat there. What
would have pissed me off is if Zamasu still would have won. Like if he would have beaten Vegito down, Trunks down, and still been standing and Omni King showed like, oh yeah,
exactly.
you got to go. Like they did their job. Like I don't care what anyone says. The team behind this arc did an incredible job. Toriyama did an amazing job writing this out. And basically, the fight is still over. Even though Omni King might step in there and basically finish it off, the fight's done. It's done. And Trunks did it too. Out of all freaking people, no matter how strong Vegito and God Goku and God Vegeta got and fused, it was still Trunks who did it without the power of fusion, without the power of, well, technically he has the power of Super Saiyan God, kind of, I think. I don't know what the form is still. He's blue aura up, but not yellow. I don't know. Basically, he did it, and that's what I love about it.
He's the strength of the mortals.
I love it. I love it. I'm super excited. So,
this
next
episode
week,
was so inspiring.
Yeah, we both were super hyped about it. Next week, I guess we'll get the finale of this, and then, like I said, the new arc, the new big arc, starts in December. And as of right now, we don't know what's going to happen yet. I assume after next week, and then in between then and whatever happens next, we get another in between filler arc similar to what we saw with the Potafu stuff, which I hope it's not that bad. But we're gonna get into next major arc in December, and overall, I'm excited. This arc was beautiful, and like I said, this rivals Dragon Ball Z stuff. Like,
it does. It really does.
When GT came out, nothing in GT ever even came close to touching Z. When Dragon Ball Super came out, when Battle of Gods came out, Resurrection F came out, none of that stuff came close to touching, you know, what happened in Z, like what we experienced as kids, or what you guys might experience now watching Z. Even the Shampoo arc didn't come close. But this arc was written so well and executed so well that, you know what? You're up there amongst my favorites so far. So, yeah. So with that, also I want to ask that question, like, what would you rank this arc so far compared to all of Dragon Ball stuff? Discuss it down below as well. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode as well, this review and all that stuff, make sure you hit that like button below. And I guess anything else we missed, feel free to discuss down below as well. But you have anything else?
It stinks.
It stinks.
I think Buster farted.
Oh God, that hit me like freaking like a wall. Holy crap.
It smells like old vegetables.
Ew. Like literally, when I turned around, it was like a wall. Like I got hit with the final Kamehameha. Like oh my gosh. We're gonna end this video right now. I gotta go because it stinks. Anyways, let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you guys in the comment section below. Enjoy the rest of your day. This has been Kira back in Ramstyle, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.